I can't even begin to describe the feeling. The moment I stepped onto the AGT Champions 2025 stage, my heart pounding like a drum, my hands slightly trembling. But my voice was ready to do the talking, ready to take over the silence that had filled the entire auditorium. As the crowd waited, as the judges leaned forward, as Simon Cowell, the man whose face rarely betrays any emotion, stared directly at me with that unreadable gaze that somehow felt like both a challenge and an invitation. Every step I took felt heavier, yet lighter at the same time, as if the weight of my entire journey was pressing down on my shoulders and lifting me higher. At the same time, I could feel the energy of the audience. Thousands of people in the room buzzing with anticipation. Their whispers, like tiny currents of electricity running through the air. And I knew deep in my bones that tonight had to be different. That tonight had to be a night they would never forget. I remember looking at Simon, at Heidi, at Howie, at Sophia, and feeling that moment of sheer vulnerability, knowing that one wrong note, one misplaced word, could shatter the magic I had spent years perfecting. Yet there was also a quiet calm inside me, a certainty that my voice, my gift would carry me through. That every late night of practice, every moment of doubt, every challenge I faced growing up, had prepared me for this exact moment. And when I took a deep breath, the lights dimmed, the spotlight shone directly on me, and the first note left my lips. I felt the world pause, I felt time slow down, and I felt something inside me ignite a fire that no fear, no nerves could ever extinguish. The sound that came out wasn't just a note. It was a story, it was my journey. It was every struggle, every triumph, every tear I had ever shed. As I continued switching seamlessly between tenor and soprano, the audience's reactions became audible, a mix of gasps, murmurs, and awe that seemed to ripple through the room like a tidal wave. And I could see Simon leaning back in his chair, his jaw slightly dropping, his eyes widening ever so slightly, the kind of subtle reaction that speaks volumes. Because Simon Cowell rarely shows surprise, rarely shows genuine emotion, and yet here he was stunned, speechless, and I felt that. Felt the connection, felt that my music was touching not just the ears, but the hearts of those watching. That this performance was more than a song. It was a moment of memory, a testament to the power of believing in yourself. I could hear Heidi whispering something to Howie, their faces lighting up with smiles, Sophia nodding suddenly, and all of it was like fuel to my spirit. Every note I sang carrying more weight, more emotion, more passion, as if the stage itself was lifting me higher, as if the air around me was charged with the energy of every person who had ever believed in me, every fan who had supported me from the very beginning, every stranger who had felt moved by my voice through a screen. All of them there with me in that very instant, sharing the magic, sharing the emotion, sharing the wonder of something beautiful being created right before their eyes. The song I had chosen was not just any song. It was a song that demanded everything of me, a song that required precision, heart, and soul, a song that told a story not just through lyrics, but through every inflection, every shift in tone, every breath and pause. And as I poured myself into it, I could see the subtle reactions of the judges. Simon's brow furrowed slightly, his eyes fixed on me as if trying to decode every layer of emotion. And I knew in that moment that I had them, that the performance had captured their attention fully, that the hours, days, months of preparation were paying off, and that the magic was real, tangible, alive in the room. Between the lights and the music, between the stage and the audience, between me and the world, there was a moment, a brief, fleeting moment when I held a high note. The kind of note that makes the air vibrate, the kind of note that holds an entire audience captive. And I could feel the collective breath being held. I could see Simon leaning forward ever so slightly, a glimmer of something I couldn't quite name in his eyes, a flicker of disbelief, admiration, and in that instant, I realized that this wasn't just about winning. It wasn't about applause or recognition. It was about connection, about transcending language, nationality, time, and space, about creating something so pure, so real that it touches every person in the room, in a way words alone could never achieve. I could feel the emotion rising in me as I moved through the final part of the song. Every note carefully balanced with my heart. Every transition seamless. Every high and low conveying a story, a message, a piece of myself. And I could see the audience, the judges, the cameras capturing it all. The moment stretching out infinite, eternal, like a perfect snapshot of emotion frozen in time. And when the last note finally left me hanging in the air, resonating, vibrating, echoing, there was a silence so profound, so complete, that it felt as if the entire world had paused to witness it, to absorb it, to let it sink in that something extraordinary had just happened. And then the applause erupted. Thunderous, overwhelming. Rolling waves of cheers and claps that shook the stage, the lights flickering in sync with the energy, the crowd rising to their feet, some with tears in their eyes, some screaming in excitement, and Simon Cowell finally breaking into a slow, deliberate smile. His voice cutting through the roar, saying words that I would never forget, words that validated every sacrifice, every struggle, every step that had led me here. That was incredible, simply incredible. And I could feel the weight of his approval, the recognition from one of the harshest, most discerning judges in the world. And it was a moment of triumph, of joy, of pure human connection. I remember walking off the stage, my legs trembling, my chest heaving, my mind still buzzing with adrenaline, and feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the opportunity, gratitude for the platform, gratitude for every person who had believed in me, who had supported me, who had pushed me to keep going when the road seemed impossible. And I knew in that moment that this performance was not just mine. It belonged to everyone who had been a part of my journey, who had cheered me on, who had inspired me, who had reminded me that talent, passion, and perseverance could move mountains, could touch hearts, could create magic. Even now, thinking back, I can't help but smile. Because it wasn't just about the notes. It wasn't just about the applause. It was about a moment of fleeting, precious moment where everything aligned, where preparation met opportunity, where passion met courage, where talent met purpose, and in that moment, I felt invincible, not because I had conquered a stage, but because I had shared something truly human, truly beautiful, something that would linger in the hearts of those who witnessed it, something that would be remembered long after the lights went down. I remember Simon's eyes, the way he leaned back, the subtle nods, the small smile that grew. And it struck me how powerful a single performance could be. How one voice, one person could break barriers, could change perspectives, could inspire hope, could move emotions in ways that words alone could never capture. And I felt a responsibility, a calling to continue sharing this gift, to continue touching hearts, to continue proving that music, passion, and dedication could overcome any obstacle, could break down walls, could unite people across the world. And at this stage, this moment was just the beginning of something far greater. And as I left the stage, hearing the echo of applause still ringing in my ears, seeing the reactions of the audience, feeling the lingering energy of the performance, I knew that this was what I had trained for, what I had dreamed of, what I had worked for my entire life. And that no matter what happened next, this moment, this connection, this shared emotion would stay with me forever. A reminder of what is possible when you believe, when you push yourself, when you let your heart guide your talent, and when you dare to show the world who you truly are. It's strange the way music can do that. The way a single performance can create ripples that extend far beyond the stage, far beyond the judges' reactions, far beyond the applause, because even now, months later, I can still feel the echoes of that night. The electricity in the air, the spark of emotion that ignited in the hearts of everyone watching, the sense of unity, of awe, of wonder that comes from witnessing something truly extraordinary. And I realized that this is why I do what I do, why I push myself, why I strive for excellence. Because moments like these, fleeting as they may be, are worth everything. Every struggle, every sacrifice, every tear, every late night. every doubt, every fear. Because they remind us that magic exists, that talent matters, that passion triumphs, and that one person, one voice, one performance can change everything. And now, as I reflect on that night, as I replay every note, every smile, every gasp, every tear, I can't help but feel an overwhelming sense of pride. Pride not just in myself, but in everyone who has been part of this journey, in every person who has believed in me, in every fan who has cheered me on, in every teacher, mentor, friend, and family member who has supported me. Because this wasn't just a performance. It was a celebration of dreams, of hard work, of courage, of music, of humanity. And I hope that everyone who watches it feels the same. Feels inspired, feels moved, feels connected, feels reminded that anything is possible when you give your heart fully, completely, fearlessly to what you love. And that is the true power of music, the true magic of a moment like AGT Champions 2025, and the reason why I will never forget it, why I will always cherish it, why I will always strive to create more moments that touch hearts, move souls, and remind the world of the beauty, the wonder, the limitless potential that exists within each of us.